culture is more than just entertainment. It's a lens into society, relationships, and human behavior. I'm Grace, and here on The Grace Report, we dive into stories beyond the headlines. Whether it's reality TV drama, celebrity scandals, or royal family intrigue, I'm here to break it all down. What it means, why it matters, and how it reflects the world we live in. Join the conversation, share your take, and let's make sense of the culture shaping our lives one story at a time. It has been quite a while since we had the opportunity to talk about Gypsy Rose and what she's got going on. The last time we really spoke about her in depth, I was recapping her show on a weekly basis, that Lifetime show, Gypsy Rose Life After Lockup. Super duper good. If you too want to go ahead down the rabbit hole and watch that or any other documentary about Gypsy Rose, I do have an affiliate link that you can use to sign up for Philo for free and go ham watching all things Gypsy Rose to get a good grip on who she is. Now, let's get into a story that she is now peddling. So she released a book and it actually came out yesterday. And in this book, this memoir, she talks about how she really, truly felt about her intimate life with her ex-husband, Ryan Anderson. Now, do you guys remember Gypsy with her TikTok fingers? She had gone and caused a stir on the internet when people were hating on Ryan. I think people were being fat phobic towards Ryan about nothing to do with his intimate life. But Gypsy came out of nowhere and said, "Don't listen to them, babe. The D is fire." And that just went super, super duper mega viral. And she has always stood by that. She claimed that they were banging like a screen door in a hurricane. He was putting it down and it was incredible. It was amongst the best she ever had. Well, now in her memoir, she is walking that back and saying, actually, you know what? When I claimed that, it wasn't true. I was just putting on airs to kind of defend my husband in public, when in reality, I would go to him in private about how trash the D was. Girl, I feel bad for all of the naive chicks who fell for this and started creeping into Ryan's DMs to get a taste of the allegedly fired D. But to be honest with you, I know people are going to be like, okay, well, what is the reality? What is truth? What is fiction? I'm going to be honest. What I said from the very beginning is there's no way the D is fire. I'm sorry. There's just no way. You can look at this man and say that there is no way. Okay? There's just no way. I don't think that he's got the stamina for a fire D. I don't think he's got the flexibility. I don't think he's got the creativity. I don't think he's got the confidence, the charisma. I just do not see it for him. And so I believe Gypsy's current story. And I do also believe that she was doing this just to defend him against the internet trolls. And listen, at the end of the day, you got to do what you got to do to ride with your boo when he is being rolled up on in the digital streets, okay? But of course, Gypsy is now claiming that the D with the new guy / her baby daddy, Ken Urker, is truly fire. She's like, listen, when Ken came into the picture, wow, there was 7 years of built up tension and it was amazing. I was able to feel comfortable with him. So now apparently Ken's D is fire. Here's the thing, Gypsy. I believe you when you say that you were lying about Ryan's D being fire, but at this point, I do not consider you to be a reliable narrator. So when it comes to Ken, I'm going to go ahead and say I don't believe you when it comes to him either. I don't. I think that maybe for you it is because he is your long lost love and you've been obsessed with him forever and you're finally with him. But technique wise and stuff like that, I do not see it for Ken either. I'm sorry. He's giving square. He is. He's giving square. He's giving lights off, toggy, and that's it. Maybe a little missionary thrown in there, but nothing more, nothing less. So I just don't see it for him either. Before I continue into the information that Gypsy has been revealing in her book, I do want to ask you guys if you are interested in reading Gypsy Rose's book, her memoir. You know what? I knew it was coming, but for some reason it was far off in the distance for me. So I didn't even think to go ahead and order a copy. So after I finished this video, I'm going to go online and see how quickly I can get a copy delivered to me so that I can go ahead and read along with you guys and share some insights with you guys, because you were a very engaged audience when I was recapping her show. We had like a routine every single week with that. And a lot of you guys came to subscribe to my channel from the Gypsy Rose saga of it all. And obviously, I do want to continue to give you information on Gypsy, what she's got going on in life and stuff like that, feed your curiosity. So yeah, if you're really interested in that, please do not hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section, drop a mic, let me know, and I will for sure be able to uphold my end of that. Okay, you guys, so let's go ahead. Mic check in the comment section. Let me know what you think about the idea of reading her book together and going over some of the highlights of it. So she talks about experiencing some trauma in that regard in her past, and how sometimes even in her relationship with Ken, she needs to tell him that she's not feeling it sometimes, or she's not feeling certain things or certain moves just based off of those traumas as well. So she's happy to be with someone who is very open to adjusting things according to her rhythm. And I think that that's a great thing. I think that that's what everybody, should have in life, right? Someone who listens to you and wants for you to be just as comfortable as they're as comfortable. Now, she talks about how her daughter Aurora was conceived, and so I think she said it was the first time that they hooked up after she left Ryan. And it was just like a miracle little thing there. She said that in terms of her pregnancy, she's been having a great first 2 trimesters, no morning sickness, very peaceful. But now in her 3rd trimester, 8 months in, she can no longer sleep. She can't breathe. She cannot do anything, but she's still at peace with her parole ending next year. And of course, she's also excited to bring her daughter into the world and to have a lot of family time together. Gypsy says, and I quote, "I am transitioning to a more private life, but it's going to be a slow transition," meaning don't worry, there's still going to be a lot of TikToks, Instagrams, and whatnot along the way. She's not just going to abruptly up and leave. And I'm kind of curious how you guys feel about that, because it seems as though when she was still in jail, there were a lot more people who supported her. But now that she's been out of jail, she's done the reality show, she's done the talk show circuit, she's had her online beefs with people as well. People are not really all that as supportive of her right now as they used to be. And I find that to be rather unfortunate, to be honest. Okay. Now, let's get into, did I also tell you guys that Gypsy said when she was going through her terrible ex-life with Ryan, she's like, I don't know that I was really physically attracted to him on that level. And I feel like that's going to be a really, really hard thing for him to hear. And it doesn't seem all that great to put that out there in the book. But at the end of the day, it is her truth, and she does have the right to share what she feels. Now, speaking of her ex-husband, Ryan, he says that he is kind of done with the mudslinging between the two of them, and that he no longer wants to engage with it. He's taking himself out of the public group chat. And these messages are coming through his lawyer after the divorce was announced. So his lawyer, Randy J. First, said, and I quote, "Ryan Anderson was aware that the divorce was taking place today. He's always conducted himself as a gentleman and as a good husband. He did not seek this divorce, but is now glad that this saga in his life is over, and he looks forward to a healthy new beginning." He has also expressed feeling blindsided by some of the things that Gypsy has been alleging about him in public, including Gypsy claiming that she was just settling for him and a marriage with him when they got together. And I find that to be really, really difficult. I feel like she's being incredibly harsh and incredibly hurtful towards him. But listen, she's gotta move units, she's gotta sell books, she's gotta make her money. And these are the things that capture people's attention. And unfortunately, it is at the expense of Ryan. But yeah, honestly, I do feel rather bad. She also says that, hey, like, I've tried to reach out to him to kind of like mend the fences and keep things civil, but I feel like it's going to be really, really difficult to do that if if she's going to be saying these sorts of things. These are not casual things that she's saying. These are really hurtful and really damaging things that she's saying. Now, Ryan says that he is going to continue to be a gentleman. He's glad the saga is over. He's not going to trade insults with Gypsy. He just wants to go ahead and move on with his life. To be honest with you guys, though, I don't know that I believe that, because one thing about Ryan is that he had this whole thing for quite a while about doing TikTok lives, specifically discussing Gypsy. And it was almost giving stalker. So will he just all of a sudden stop? Maybe. Listen, maybe he got enough groupies from the lives that he can go ahead, settle with one, start dating, and see how that goes. And that's going to distract him from his heartbreak. Or maybe he's going to notice that, like, the less he talks about Gypsy, the less engagement he gets. You know what I want to tell you guys? I kind of low-key think, and I maybe low-key hope, that Ryan is going to go ahead and release a podcast. Because his situation is kind of reminding me a little bit of Kaylin Lowry from Teen Mom 2 situation, minus all the babies. But I do think that because this was a very, very, very famous and very, it's a relationship with a lot of public interest, he does have enough material there to go ahead and talk a little bit more about it and to, make a little bit of money as he talks about it. Maybe he's thinking, listen, I wanted to keep it cute. I wanted to keep it mute, but here comes Gypsy with a book. So why can't I just do a podcast? I have a question from you. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Let me know in the comments section how you would navigate this. Picture this. You get together with somebody, you get married, and you hold them down for 4 years or something like that while they're in prison. As soon as they get out of prison, a couple months go by and they're already ready. It's 4 months. They're ready to drop you and circle back to somebody else that they dated before you. And then they release a book and they're trashing you. They're trashing your skills in the bedroom, everything. Would you be petty and launch your own podcast? Or would you just leave it, leave things be? Especially if you're already somebody who has been ranting and raving about this person on social media anyway. I feel like Ryan is most certainly not above that. He has already built a huge reputation. There's many parodies of him out there on TikTok as being someone who cannot get enough of talking about Gypsy Rose. So if that is your thing, why don't you go ahead and launch a podcast? It could be, about rebuilding your life as a divorcee, as a divorcee, talking about being blindsided, talking about rebuilding your life, everything, about yourself. I think that there's a lot of public interest in Ryan right now. He was a star on that show with Gypsy Rose's reality show. He was on as many episodes as her. He was right there next to her in every single episode. So I do think that there would be enough people who would tune into this podcast, hoping to hear some, some glimmers of tea about Gypsy, who she is, what she's really like to live with, what she's like to love, what she's like to fight with, what she's like to divorce, all sorts of things. And the only person right now who has those answers outside of Ken, and Ken's not going to spill them because he's expecting a baby with her, is Ryan. Ryan, there's some money to be made, honey. You got to go where the money resides. If they go low, we take it to hell. Or do it. I don't know. Now, let's get into Gypsy's current relationship. This really is the Gypsy Rose power hour, right? Let's talk about her relationship with her baby daddy, Ken Urker. So, as you guys are aware, they're going to be naming their daughter Aurora. Can I do a mic check with you guys? Mic check, mic check. How do you feel about the name Aurora? I'm sorry if your name is Aurora, but for me, I find it hard to pronounce. I feel like I have to overly enunciate so it doesn't sound like when I'm saying it, I'm like Aurora, and I'm like, no, it sounds muddy. So I have to go Aurora. Then I go, wait, is it Aurora or is it Aurora or is it Aurora? I can't figure it out. You know what it reminds me of? Because I'm reading this other book from my channel members, and the girl keeps using this word, and it's a word I can't stand. It's AWRY. Things have gone Ari, that word. Aurora gives me that same kind of vibe, like it's nice to look at. But for me, when I'm getting ready to say it, my mouth just cannot say it properly. Do you guys have any, like, if Aurora is not that word for you or that name for you, what is a name that you just cannot like get right? Let me know, because that's it for me. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but I'm just saying that I just can't pronounce it. I cannot pronounce it properly. I always feel like I am butchering it. Now, let's get into the name. How did they choose the name? Who chose the name? Everything. Okay. So it turns out that Ken came up with the baby's name. And her full name is going to be Aurora Rayner Urker. So it seems like Aurora Rayner, like Raina. I'm thinking, and it's Raina, Raina, not Reina. So I'm getting like a very like nature name. I'm thinking Aurora, like Aurora Borealis. I'm thinking Raina, like rain, although I don't know what the dog's up to. But if it were spelled differently, I would be thinking queen, because reina in Espanol would be queen, right? But I'm thinking like more on the earthy vibe. So I'm wondering if that was the whole thing. So she does says that there's a black backstory to it. And the whole thing is, first of all, nothing to do with the Disney princess. People have always talked about how, with all of the Make-A-Wish, all the things that Gypsy used to do in Disney, that she would go for a princess name, a Disney princess name. And she says, no, that was not the case. In fact, some other people think that it's because Christy's dog is named Aurora Grace. Okay. And Christy's her stepmom, obviously. And she's like, nope, it's not because of that either. She says that the name has a deeper meaning or a deeper story behind it. Quote, back whenever Ken and I were together 7 years ago, both of us have a fascination with the northern lights, and the proper term is the Aurora Borealis. I think, and she says that when she and Ken started dating, like, in 2018, we wrote each other's future kids' names on pieces of paper, and Aurora is what we both picked without even knowing each other was picking it. So here's my thing. If you're telling us, Gypsy Rose, that was a name that you both chose, not knowing the other would choose it, why are you telling us that Ken chose the name? Sounds like y'all both chose the name, right? Or is my math wrong? Let me know in the comments, you guys. Is my math wrong? Or is she misexplaining this? Anyway, listen, I say congrats to the two of them. Go ahead. It's like a classic name. I feel like I've never actually personally met anyone with this name, but I've heard about many people having this name. It's definitely not like one of those, kooky out there, like how's this child gonna navigate the world sort of names. Like, I think they chose a good, solid name. Okay. Now, she says that when the two of them had broken up, it was like, oh, Aurora is never going to be born. A lot of people think the origin is one thing, but they don't know that little story. So, voila, you guys, there you go. There you go. Now, Sweden, get ready, be safe, lock up your doors, because one thing that Gypsy is threatening to do once she is off of parole is to go ahead and visit your country. So I just want to warn you guys ahead of time. She's going to be heading over there. I don't know what they've got like going on in Sweden, if they've got some kind of like, family heritage thing up there or something. I don't know, but that's the first place that she says that she wants to go once she is off of parole. And she says that outside of that, she's obviously looking forward to giving birth to her child and celebrating with her family and everything like that. So yeah, good stuff, great stuff. Let me know how you felt about these stories about Gypsy walking back her claims that Ryan Anderson's D was fire, about how their daughter's name came to be, or about how Ryan is now speaking out, saying that he is no longer participating in the mudslinging with Gypsy. And just to be messy, I need a mic check, you guys. Please tell me in the comment section, how would you feel about Ryan launching like a relationship, a love and dating, a lifestyle podcast, something? Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. And as usual, we will chat. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.